Well, welcome back. Well, one of the big heats of the third round hitting the lineup now. It's Mick Fanning up against Frederico Morais as Joel Parkinson won through in that last clash. Let's see which one of these competitors will be joining Joel and Nat Young in the second heat of round 4. Fanning's got his work cut out during the break. Frederico Morais, the injury replacement from Portugal, he opened up with a very strong ride. Still waiting on the numbers to drop, but have a look at the power in this first turn.
Watch this hackaroonie. Big old meat hook. That was one of the best turns we've seen in this event right here, Ronnie. And then he's going to finish it off nice and tidy. Great closeout maneuver. The whole beach just went mental right there. So what a start. Grabbing that energy from the crowd as the local wild card should. And Mick Fanning, uncharacteristic slip right there with the backwash. A lot of momentum right in Frederico's corner.
And Mick Fanning now under pressure because Frederico Morais is about to open up with an excellent score.
And if you remember, just a couple of years ago, Frederico Morais took down Kelly Slater with a big old air reverse. So you know, he might be a little bit under the radar for you folks at home, but this guy is a little bit of a giant slayer. He doesn't blink in the eye of a big situation.
Well, it's interesting how the tables can turn in round 3. Mick Fanning is under immense pressure as Frederico Morais puts a 9.3 on the board, and Fanning now without priority has a look at an insider but opts not to go. Turns.
It's a big score, but you know, I mean, again, I said it right during the live or during that first replay. I thought it was one of the best turns we've seen in this event. That is a ton of spray. So, you know, and that spray is not one of those fire hose sprays where you see someone click kind of that button on the top of the wave. That was all power. Great rail surfing and a very tidy finish too. Right here. Watch him lean on those heels and he knifes around. So he didn't finish it. I love how he gave it that extra little torque at the end there, just barely disengaging the fins for a split second. He actually fit in a second turn there. So that just shows you how crisp it was, and then he had that nice closeout re-entry.
Well, Fanning now having a look at this one. He kicks out, just looking a little bit shaky at this point in time, but there's plenty of minutes left on the clock.
This heat's far from over.
Well, let's see if Frederico can put another big backup score on the board. He's used priority for this ride. Just one section to play with. A speed float, hoping to find the open face again. It doesn't happen for him. Frederico 54th on the QS at this stage. A 23-year-old from Cascais, Portugal. He's a big unit, 6 foot 1 inch tall, 178 pounds.
Parkinson, you got out in the water and you got started fast against your opponent, Matt Wilkinson.
Yeah, it was. I started with that like that 8, I think, and then it really felt like the tide started to come in, and just trying to back it up. It took me most of my heat to do it, and Wilco came back at that point, and but I was on the one behind, so I was pretty lucky. So, and you can hear the crowd going mental right now. I think Fred got another good one, which is a bit of a bummer for Mick.
Well, with that said, you know, you're really good friends with Mick. You've been together through, you know, titles and all the way along the road.
The winner of this one will be meeting Joel Parkinson and Nat Young in Heat 2 of round 4. Frederico continues to build momentum. He's found a solid backup score, 6.83 for this one.
And so, you know, if this guy's flying under your radar, make no mistakes about it. He has been competing on the QS Tour. Look at that second turn. Throwing up a ton of spray, so, you know, showing some variety there. We saw that big old forehand carve. Now he's on his backhand, putting together some backhand whips. Nice vertical approach there. 6.83, Ronnie, so wow, already Mick Fanning needs a 15.97. But again, Frederico, he's been competing all year long on a QS, you know, compiling some okay results. Now, he did get a 9th in the last QS 10,000, so, you know, he might not be a family household name, but this guy's been on tour competing.
A wave breaks where he just was. So he's just trying to find his place out there. Frederico certainly has the early rhythm as he looks to swing on another insider here. Looking to improve on a 6.83. Drifts that tail. Surfing without pressure now as he sets the fins free on the second maneuver. And looking for a big finish. Right on the shore break section in front of this big Portuguese crowd. He bashes the foam. A well-constructed ride, 18.5 minutes to go. I still like that big second turn on the left-hander.
Yeah.
I think that might still...
Really nice, but I'm with you. I'm not sure it's going to better the 6.83.
Just under 18 minutes to go. Do you think Adriano de Souza's watching this heat unfold, Ross?
He's got to be psyched for sure. Julian, the guys that lost out. Watch his second carve. That second half, again, you know, he's not just grunting into these really kind of beefy turns. He's snapping out of them. So he's combining that power with agility. I'm really enjoying it. And then finishing these waves off. 0 mistakes. I mean, at this point, he could almost come in and chill out. But Mick's too dangerous. He knows that. He'll try and get rid of that 6.8.
Fanning forced to wait now for a pretty decent ride because he has some help in his corner. A former championship tour surfer, Richard Dogmarsh from Australia, has been working with Frederico for some time. And here he goes again. The Portuguese surfer just on a tear out here at the moment. It's like he's the only surfer in the lineup and under priority, bashing a few lips. Let's hear from the coach that's helping Frederico along the way, Richard Dogmarsh. He's with Chelsea Kennel.
Before he went out there, because he obviously came out swinging, and he said he was really feeling confident about his carve, and Dog told him, you know, I don't want to see you surf safe, I'd rather see you fall. So that was the most important thing for him, and this crowd is eating up every single second of this. As you can see, Mick is tearing things up right now, and you'll watch, they'll go crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chelsea, I know you were watching that unfold and the crowd did go mad. Mick, under pressure, Ross, responded with a lot of speed and unleashed plenty of power there. Well, just the combination of manoeuvres and the number of turns that Mick fit in, I'm thinking it's got to be somewhere between, well, I think it's going to be higher than Frederico's wave. Have a look. Maybe just that first turn that Frederico had. That might be his strength, but Mick's second turn was strong, Ross.
I love the zip that Mick Fanning gets out of those bottom turns too. You know, he's one of the best on tour at just really carrying speed and actually gaining speed out of his turns. And this wave was a pure testament of just how fast Mick Fanning is. Lightning speed floater there, crisp off the lip, and then he cracks into this hack right here. You know, really quick. And, you know, this wave provided a lot of sections, and I like how he connected each dot perfectly with a lot of power and speed.
I think this is going to be an interesting score because even on that angle, the wave looked a lot flatter than Frederico's. So even though Frederico did less damage with less turns, I mean, he definitely had 2 really big moves on a bigger wave. It is getting interesting. Definitely one of the most exciting heats that we've seen, and the number drops for Fanning. It does come under 8.4 for Mick Fanning. An 8.4, so he does get himself back in the heat. He's broken that combination. He's now after a 7.57. So the judges really loving that commitment to the first turn from Frederico, the size of his wave and the solid finish.
Not as much power, but that wave was running horizontal with the beach pretty quick, so he kind of had to keep his speed up. This first turn, though, is just a thing of beauty. That was the craziest hack we've seen in this event. Nice linkage right there, and then he finishes it off with a tidy little snap there with some speed and flow. So, you know, when I watch it back, I like that the judges gave him the nod just from that first turn alone. You know, it was comparable to a big air. That first big old hack was huge. Now, Mick Fanning obviously has a lot more flow and speed, but because that wave was kind of running down the line, he didn't really lean into it as hard.
Well, back to live action, and Frederico Morais opens up with another big, strong carve. Really confident on the rail, and he looks for a solid finish. Again, just drifts that tail, looking to replace a 6.83 to push the requirement higher for Fanning, who's currently in second, and prior to that ride was in pursuit of a 7.57.
We just caught the first turn. I'd love to see that wave over again. See, uses priority, Mick making sure he gets it. Another beautiful hack. I mean, Frederico, hats off. Now, this is amazing surfing for him. I'm really impressed. This wave goes a little flat through the middle, and then just a decent little tail slide there to finish. So again, he's really struggling to try and get rid of that 6.8. Big air or a big old hack, and that's what Frederico laid down, and it's given him the edge so far in his heat.
Well, plenty of waves rolling through for these competitors, and Fanning swings on this one out onto the open face. That trademark arcing carve to start. Jams it in the pocket, setting the fins free for a moment. Takes the high road and somehow links to this end section and bashes it, bringing it through to the inside. Still not finished. Throws his board up one more time. Right on the sand, and the crowd is loving it. Decent numbers rolling through for Morais on his last wave. He's looking to replace a 6.83.
His carve. I'm so impressed with his rail game, and he just barely improved. But we're waiting for Mick Fanning's last wave. That was, again, mistake-free surfing from Mick.
A 6.9 for the Portuguese surfer, and Fanning, well, he needs a 7.64 from this ride to get into the lead.
I mean, Mick Fanning is just a joke. That rail surfing right there is second to none. Beautiful wrap, trademark Mick turn. Again, that wave went flat through the middle, which is unfortunate. But again, he is so strong through his lower body. He maintained speed through that fat section and got one nice finishing turn. So I guess I would be surprised if he got a 7.64, but he's definitely switched on. If he gets himself one of those gems, he's going to get a big score.
A 6-point ride, and Fanning showing some frustration there with just over 7 minutes to go. And at the moment, Frederico's just finding a bit of a steeper wall, a steeper canvas to work with, and he's laid down some big turns. Fanning, as you said, he switched on, but a couple of his waves have flattened out. Here he goes again without priority, swinging into a big fin throw to start. Explosive first turn. Grinds through a carve. This wave fattening up a bit, and he'll need a big finish, but he's not going to get the connection. It's for him too. Well, here we go. Mick without priority, having a look at this one. It's an insider. He's going to have to do some big turns. He kicks out quickly. 3.5 minutes to go. Was maybe just trying to sell Frederico and get the lineup coming into the final stages.
I'm so interested to see how Adriano digests his heat. I wouldn't even be surprised if this rattles him, just because of all the energy in the air, all the momentum with the Portuguese surfers.
Well, Mick, he paddles straight over to Frederico. Always the true sportsman, and shakes hands with the wild card, and you should hear this crowd. It is deafening, the roar, as he makes his way in. A 9.13 on his last wave. He's dropping 3 sixes, and he's hanging on to a 6.9 as his second best score, and he's on his way to the 4th round. He'll surf against Nat Young and Joel Parkinson, and he is buzzing. And again, he plays potential spoiler in the world title race. Beat Kelly Slater here in 2013 in the 2nd round, and now he has defeated Mick Fanning, the current Jeep ratings leader, in Heat 6 of round 3.